Descending from these general principles, we find the proposition that in legal contemplation, the union is perpetual, confirmed by the history of the union itself. The union is much older than the Constitution. It was formed, impacted by the Articles of Association in 1774. It was matured and continued by the Declaration of Independence in 1776. It was fundamentally matured, and the pace of all the then 13 states expressly plighted and engaged that it should be perpetuated by the Articles of Confederation in 1778, and finally in my countrymen, one and all, think calmly and well upon this whole subject. Nothing valuable can be lost by taking time. If there be an object to hurry any of you in hot haste to a step which you would never take, deliberately that object will be frustrated by taking time. But no good object can be frustrated by it. Such of you as are now dissatisfied still have the old constitution unimpaired, and on the sensitive point, the laws of your own framing under it. While the new administration will have no immediate power, if it would to change it, if it were admitted that you who are dissatisfied hold the right side in the dispute, there still is no single good reason for precipitate action. Intelligence, patriotism, Christianity, and a firm reliance on Him who has never yet forsaken this favored land are still competent to adjust in the best way all our present difficulty. In your hands, my dissatisfied fellow countrymen, and not in mine. In the momentous issue of a civil war, the government will not assail you. You can have no conflict without being yourselves the aggressors. You have no oath registered in heaven to destroy the government, while I shall have the most solemn one to preserve, protect, and defend it. I'm lost close. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strength, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cause of memory, stretching from every battlefield and patriot's grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land, where the chorus of the Union when again touched, and surely they will be, by the better and judge of our nature. Gettysburg Address, November 19, 1863. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or a nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are mad on a great battlefield on that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that period as a final resting place for those who have gave their lives that the nation might live. It's altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or distract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It's for us, the living, letter to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It's rather for us to be here, dedicated to the great task remaining before us that forms this honor that we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the restful measure of devotion, that we here hardly reserve that those that shall not have died in vain, that this nation and God shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.